Hello, and welcome to our daily Bible reading program, where we are reading the entire Bible in a year. This is week 50, day 1. Today we'll read Nehemiah 10 through 13 and Revelation chapter 8. Nehemiah 10, verse 1. On the seals are the names of Nehemiah the governor, the son of Hakaliah, Zedekiah, Seraiah, Azariah, Jeremiah, Pashur, Amariah, Malachjah, Hattush, Shabaniah, Malach, Harim, Meremoth, Obadiah, Daniel, Ginnathon, Barak, Meshullam, Abijah, Mejem, Mazai, Balgai, Shemaiah. These are the priests. And the Levites, Jeshua the son of Azaniah, Benui of the sons of Henadad, Kedemel, and their brothers, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Kelatah, Peliah, Hanan, Micah, Rahab, Hashabiah, Zucker, Sherebiah, Shebaniah, Hodiah, Beninu, the chiefs of the people, Parosh, Pahath Moab, Elam, Zattu, Bani, Bunai, Asgad, Bebiah, Adonijah, Bigvai, Aden, Ater, Hezekiah, Azur, Hodiah, Hashum, Beziah, Hariph, Anathoth, Nebiah, Magpash, Meshullam, Hizur, Meshezabel, Zadok, Jaddua, Pelatiah, Hanan, Aniah, Hoshiah, Hananiah, Hashub, Halohash, Pilha, Shobak, Rehum, Hashabinah, Messiah, Ahai, Hanan, Anan, Malach, Harim, Bana. The rest of the peoples, the priests, the Levites, the gatekeepers, the singers, the temple servants, and all who separated themselves from the peoples of the lands to the law of God, their wives, their sons, their daughters, all who have knowledge and understanding, join with their brothers, their nobles, and enter into a curse and an oath to walk in God's law that was given by Moses, the servant of God, and to observe and do all the commandments of the Lord our Lord, and his rules and his statutes. We will not give our daughters to the peoples of the land, or take their daughters for our sons. And if the peoples of the land bring in goods or any grain on the Sabbath day to sell, we will not buy from them on the Sabbath or on a holy day, and we will forego the crops of the 7th year and the exaction of every debt. We also take on ourselves the obligation to give yearly a third part of a shekel for the service of the house of our God, for the showbread, the regular grain offering, the regular burnt offering, the Sabbaths, the new moons, the appointed feasts, the holy things, and the sin offerings to make atonement for Israel, and for all the work of the house of our God. We, the priests, the Levites, and the people, have likewise cast lots for the wood offering, to bring it into the house of our God, according to our fathers' houses, at times appointed, year by year, to burn on the altar of the Lord our God, as it is written in the law. We obligate ourselves to bring the first fruits of our ground, and the first fruits of all fruit of every tree, year by year, to the house of the Lord. Also to bring the house of our God to the priests who minister in the house of our God, the firstborn of our sons and of our cattle, as it is written in the law, and the firstborn of our herds and of our flocks, and to bring the first of our dough and our contributions, the fruit of every tree, the wine and the oil, to the priests, to the chambers of the house of our God, and to bring to the Levites the tithe from our ground, for it is the Levites who collect the tithes in all our towns where we labor. And the priest, the son of Aaron, shall be with the Levites when the Levites receive the tithes. And the Levites shall bring up the tithe of the tithes to the house of our God, to the chambers of the storehouse, For the people of Israel and the sons of Levi shall bring the contribution of grain, wine, and oil to the chambers, where the vessels of the sanctuary are, as well as the priests who minister, and the gatekeepers and the singers. We will not neglect the house of our God. Nehemiah 11, verse 1. Now the leaders of the people lived in Jerusalem, and the rest of the people cast lots to bring 1 out of 10 to live in Jerusalem, the holy city, while 9 out of 10 remained in the other towns. And the people blessed all the men who willingly offered to live in Jerusalem. These are the chiefs of the province who lived in Jerusalem. But in the towns of Judah, everyone lived on his property in their towns: Israel, the priests, the Levites, the temple servants, and the descendants of Solomon's servants. And in Jerusalem lived certain of the sons of Judah, and of the sons of Benjamin, of the sons of Judah, Athaiah, the son of Uzziah, son of Zechariah, son of Amariah, son of Shephatiah, son of Mahalalel, of the sons of Perez, and Messiah, the son of Baruch, son of Kolhozah, son of Haziah, son of Adiah, son of Johorib, son of Zechariah, son of the Shilonite. All the sons of Perez who lived in Jerusalem were 468 valiant men. And these are the sons of Benjamin: Sallu, the son of Meshullam, son of Joed, son of Pedaiah, son of Koliah, son of Messiah, son of Ithiel, son of Jeshuiah, and his brothers, men of valor, 928. Joel the son of Zechariah was their overseer, and Judah the son of Hasenau was the second over the city. Of the priest, Jedediah the son of Jorab, Jachin, Seraiah the son of Hilkiah, son of Meshullam, son of Zadok, son of Marioth, son of Etub, ruler of the house of God, and their brothers who did the work of the house, 822, and Adiah the son of Jehoam, son of Pelialah, son of Amzai, son of Zechariah, son of Pashur, son of Malchi, and his brothers, heads of fathers' houses, 242, and Amashiah, son of Azarel, son of Ahaziah, son of Meshullemoth, son of Immer, and their brothers, mighty men of valor, 128. Their overseer was Zabdal, the son of Haggedolim. And of the Levites, Shimei, the son of Hashub, son of Azrikam, son of Hashabiah, son of Bunai, and Shabbanethi, and Jozabad, of the chiefs of the Levites, who were over the outside work of the house of God, and Mattaniah, the son of Micah, son of Zadai, son of Asaph, who was the leader of the praise, who gave thanks, and Bakbukiah, the second among his brothers, and Abda, the son of Shammua, son of Galal, son of Jeduthun. All the Levites in the holy city were 284. The gatekeepers, Akkub, Talmon, and their brothers, who kept watch at the gates, were 172. And the rest of Israel, and of the priests and the Levites, were in all the towns of Judah, every one in his inheritance. But the temple servants lived in Ophel, and Zahah, and Gishpah were over the temple servants. The overseer of the Levites in Jerusalem was Uzziah, the son of Bani, son of Hashabiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Mikah, of the sons of Asaph, the singers, over the work of the house of God. For there was a command from the king concerning them, and a fixed provision for the singers, as every day required. And Pathaiah, the son of Meshezabel, of the sons of Zerah, the son of Judah, was at the king's side in all matters concerning the people. And as for the villages, with their fields, some of the people of Judah lived in Kereth Araba, and its villages, and in Dibon, and its villages, and in Jekabbezel, and its villages, and in Jeshua, and in Moladah, and in Beth Pelet, and Hazar Shul, in Beersheba, and its villages, in Ziklag, in Mekona, and its villages, in Rimon, in Zorah, in Jarmuth, Zoanah, Adullam, and their villages, Lachish, and its fields, in Ezekah, and its villages. So they encamped from Beersheba to the valley of Hinnom. The people of Benjamin also lived from Gibeah onward at Michmash, Ejai, Bethel, and its villages, Anathoth, Noab, Ananiah, Hazar, Ramah, Gittaim, Hadad, Zeboim, Nebalat, Lod, and Onah, the valley of craftsmen, and certain divisions of the Levites in Judah were assigned to Benjamin. Nehemiah 12, verse 1. These are the priests and the Levites who came up with Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, Seraiah, Jeremiah, Ezra, Amariah, Malach, Hattush, Zechariah, Rehum, Meremoth, Edu, Genethiah, Abijah, Majamin, Mahadiah, Belgah, Shemaiah, Joreb, Jedediah, Saulu, Amok, Helkiah, Jedediah. These were the chiefs of the priests and of their brothers in the days of Jeshua. And the Levites, Jeshua, Binnui, Kedemel, Sherebiah, Judah, and Mattaniah, who with his brothers was in charge of the songs of thanksgiving. And Bakbukiah and Unai and their brothers stood opposite them in the service. And Jeshua was the father of Jehoiakim, Jehoiakim the father of Eliashib, Eliashib the father of Jehodiah, Jehodiah the father of Jonathan, and Jonathan the father of Jaddua. And in the days of Jehoiakim were priests, heads of fathers' houses, of Seraiah, Meraiah, of Jeremiah, Hananiah, of Ezra, Meshullam, of Amari, Jehohanan, of Malachi, Jonathan, of Shebaniah, Joseph, of Haram, Abna, of Marioth, Helkiah, of Iddu, Zechariah, of Ginnethon, Meshullam, of Abijah, Zarkai, of Menanim, of Moadiah, Peltiah, of Bilgah, Shammua, of Shemaiah, Jehonathan, of Jehoram, Mattaniah, of Jedediah, Uzziah, of Salai, Kalai, of Amok, Eber, of Helkiah, Hashabiah, of Jedediah, Nathaniel. In the days of Eliashib, Jehoiada, Jehohanan, and Jaddua, the Levites were recorded as heads of fathers' houses. So too were the priests in the region of Darius, the Persian. As for the sons of Levi, their heads of fathers' houses were written in the book of the Chronicles until the days of Jehohanan, the son of Eliashib. And the chiefs of the Levites, Hashabiah, Sherebiah, and Jeshua, the son of Kedemel, with their brothers, who stood opposite them to praise and to give thanks according to the commandment of David the man of God, watch by watch, Mattaniah, Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshullam, Talmon, and Akub were gatekeepers standing guard at the storehouses of the gates. These were in the days of Jehoiakim the son of Jeshua, son of Jozadak, and in the days of Nehemiah the governor, and of Ezra the priest and scribe. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought the Levites in all their places, to bring them to Jerusalem to celebrate the dedication with gladness, with thanksgiving, and with singing, with cymbals, harps, and lyres. And the sons of the singers gathered together from the districts surrounding Jerusalem, and from the villages of the Nephthalites, also from Beth Gilgal, and from the region of Gibeah, and Azmaveth, for the singers had built for themselves villages around Jerusalem. And the priests and the Levites purified themselves, and they purified the people and the gates and the wall. Then I brought the leaders of Judah up onto the wall, and appointed 2 great choirs that gave thanks. One went to the south on the wall to the dung gate, and after them with Hoshea and half of the leaders of Judah, and Azariah, Ezra, Meshullam, Judah, Benjamin, Shemaiah, and Jeremiah, and certain of the priests' sons with trumpets, Zechariah the son of Jonathan, son of Shemaiah, son of Mattaniah, son of Micaiah, son of Zechar, son of Asaph, and his relatives, Shemaiah, Azarel, Maliah, Gileiah, Maiah, Nathaniel, Judah, and Hananiah, with the musical instruments of David the man of God. And Ezra the scribe went before them. At the fountain gate they went up straight before them by the stairs of the city of David, at the ascent of the wall, above the house of David, to the water gate on the east. The other choir of those who gave thanks went to the north, and I followed them with half of the people, on the wall, above the tower of the ovens, to the broad wall, and above the gate of Ephraim, and by the gate of Hashaniah, and by the fish gate, and the tower of Hanel, and the tower of the 100, to the sheep gate. And they came to a halt at the gate of the guard. So both choirs of those who gave thanks stood in the house of God, and I and half of the officials with me, and the priests, Eliakim, Maaseiah, Menamanan, Micaiah, Eluniah, Zechariah, and Hananiah with trumpets, and Maaseiah, Shemaiah, Eleazar, Uzziah, Jehohanan, Malchijah, Elam, and Ezer. And the singers sang with Jezariah as their leader. And they offered great sacrifices that day and rejoiced, for God had made them rejoice with great joy. The women and children also rejoiced, and the joy of Jerusalem was heard far away. On that day men were appointed over the storerooms, the contributions, the first fruits, and the tithes, to gather into them the portions required by the law for the priests and for the Levites according to the fields of the towns. For Judah rejoiced over the priests and the Levites who ministered, and they performed the service of their God and the service of purification, as did the singers and the gatekeepers, according to the command of David and his son Solomon. For long ago, in the days of David and Asaph, there were directors of the singers, and there were songs of praise and thanksgiving to God. And all Israel in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah gave the daily portions for the singers and the gatekeepers, and they set apart that which was for the Levites, and the Levites set apart that which was for the sons of Aaron. Nehemiah 13, verse 1. On that day they read from the book of Moses in the hearing of the people, and in it was found written that no Ammonite or Moabite should ever enter the assembly of God, for they did not meet the people of Israel with bread and water, but hired Balaam against them to curse them. Yet our God turned the curse into a blessing. As soon as the people heard the law, they separated from Israel all those of foreign descent. Now before this, Eliashib the priest, who was appointed over the chambers of the house of our God, and who was related to Tobiah, prepared for Tobiah a large chamber, where they had previously put the grain offering, the frankincense, the vessels, and the tithes of grain, wine, and oil, which were given by commandment to the Levites, singers, and gatekeepers, and the contribution for the priests. While this was taking place, I was not in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Xerxes, king of Babylon, I went to the king, and after some time I asked leave of the king, and came to Jerusalem. And I then discovered the evil that Eliashib had done for Tobiah, preparing for him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. And I was very angry, and I threw all the household furniture of Tobiah out of the chamber. Then I gave orders, and they cleansed the chambers, and I brought back there the vessels of the house of God, with the grain offering and the frankincense. I also found out that the portions of the Levites had not been given to them, so that the Levites and the singers who did the work had fled each to his field. So I confronted the officials, and I said, "Why is the house of God forsaken?" And I gathered them together and set them in their stations. Then all Judah brought the tithe of the grain, wine, and oil into the storehouses. And I appointed as treasurers over the storehouses Shelemiah the priest, Zadok the scribe, and Pedaiah of the Levites, and as their assistant Hanan the son of Zachar, son of Mattaniah, for they were considered reliable, and their duty was to distribute to their brothers. Remember me, O my God, concerning this, and do not wipe out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my God and for his service. In those days I saw in Judah people treading winepresses on the Sabbath, and bringing in heaps of grain, and loading them on donkeys, and also wine, grapes, figs, and all kinds of loads, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I warned them on the day when they sold food. Tyrians also, who lived in the city, brought in fish and all kinds of goods, and sold them on the Sabbath to the people of Judah in Jerusalem itself. Then I confronted the nobles of Judah and said to them, "What is this evil thing that you are doing, profaning the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers act in this way? And did not our God bring all this disaster on us and on this city? Now you are bringing more wrath on Israel by profaning the Sabbath." As soon as it began to grow dark at the gates of Jerusalem before the Sabbath, I commanded that the doors should be shut, and gave orders that they should not be opened until after the Sabbath. And I stationed some of my servants at the gates, that no load might be brought in on the Sabbath day. And the merchants and sellers of all kinds of wares lodged outside Jerusalem once or twice. But I warned them and said to them, "Why do you lodge outside the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you." From that time on, they did not come on the Sabbath. Then I commanded the Levites that they should purify themselves, and come and guard the gates, to keep the Sabbath day holy. Remember this also in my favor, O my God, and spare me according to the greatness of your steadfast love. In those days also I saw the Jews who had married women of Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab, and half of their children spoke the language of Ashdod, and they could not speak the language of Judah, but only the language of each people. And I confronted them, and cursed them, and beat some of them, and pulled out their hair. And I made them take an oath in the name of God, saying, "You shall not give your daughters to their sons, or take their daughters for your sons or for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin on account of such women? Among the many nations there was no king like him, and he was beloved by his God. And God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, foreign women made even him to sin. Shall we then listen to you and do all this great evil and act treacherously against our God by marrying foreign women?" And one of the sons of Jehoiada, the son of Elishib, the high priest, was the son-in-law of Sanballat, the Hornite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O my God, because they have desecrated the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and the Levites. Thus I cleansed them from everything foreign, and I established the duties of the priests and Levites, each in his work. And I provided for the wood offering at appointed times, and for the first fruits. Remember me, O my God, for good. Revelation 8, verse 1. When the Lamb opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. Then I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and 7 trumpets were given to them. And another angel came and stood at the altar with a golden censer, and he was given much incense to offer, with the prayers of all the saints on the golden altar before the throne. And the smoke of the incense with the prayers of the saints rose before God from the hand of the angel. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire from the altar and threw it on the earth. And there were peals of thunder, rumblings, flashings of lightning, and an earthquake. Now the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared to blow them. The first angel blew his trumpet, and there followed hail and fire mixed with blood, and these were thrown upon the earth. And a third of the earth was burned up, and a third of the trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up. The second angel blew his trumpet, and something like a great mountain, burning with fire, was thrown into the sea, and a third of the sea became blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. The third angel blew his trumpet, and a great star fell from heaven, blazing like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers, and on the springs of water. The name of the star was Wormwood. A third of the waters became wormwood, and many people died from the water because it had been made bitter. The fourth angel blew his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of their light might be darkened, and a third of the day might be kept from shining, and likewise a third of the night. Then I looked, and I heard an eagle crying with a loud voice as it flew directly overhead, Woe, woe, woe to those who dwell on the earth, at the blasts of the other trumpets that the 3 angels are about to blow. That concludes our reading for Week 50, Day 1. Join us tomorrow for Week 50, Day 2. We'll read the book of Malachi, the 2nd Psalm, and Revelation chapter 9. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you've not done so. Hit that notification bell. You will be alerted every time there's a new video available. As well, share the good news of the Word of God with others. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great and wonderful day.